Hey everyone, so I am coming at you with another book tag, and today I'm going to be doing the Disney book tag. The Disney book tag was created by Kat from Katastic on YouTube, but I found it through the Bucket List book blog, the Bucket List book blog. That. And so yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. My library here in Texas is way better than my library back in New York. So I actually have copies of the majority of the books in front of me today, as opposed to showing you pictures like I do when I'm in New York. I have two books are in New York, so they will be pictures, and then one of them is a library book, so that one will be a picture as well. But otherwise, they're like my physical copies. I'm so excited that I can actually show you physical copies. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. The first book is The Little Mermaid, which is a character who is out of their element, aka a fish out of water story. And of course, I had to go with Harry Potter from the Harry Potter series. He is a boy who does not know he is a wizard, and on his 11th birthday, he finds out he's a wizard and he's thrust into this beautiful magical world. And the Harry Potter books will always hold a special place in my heart because they got me through some difficult times, and it's unfortunate that I can't support J.K. Rowling anymore. I do not stand by her recent statements. I have a video all about whether or not she should be canceled. This was before her most recent transphobic comments. So yeah, it's a little unfortunate, but Harry Potter holds a dear and special place in my heart, and to me, Harry Potter are the books and the community that came out of it. So anyway, Harry Potter is my Little Mermaid. Next is the Cinderella, a character who goes through a major transformation. And for that, I chose Celie from The Color Purple. So Celie goes from being this uneducated Black woman in the South, and she is married off. She is sexually abused by her family members, and then she is sold off to a man because she's a poor and uneducated Black woman in the South. She is sold off by her father, and she meets Shug Avery, who is a singer, and through Shug, she learns how to empower herself. She becomes educated, and she learns how to empower herself and find the strength within her to live the life she was always meant to live. So this is a great book. I highly recommend it. Next is Snow White, a book with an eclectic cast of characters. For that, I chose The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. So this obviously takes place in a dystopic future, and the characters come from all different backgrounds. We have the poor districts, we have the extremely rich districts that actually want to fight in the Hunger Games. We have the poorer districts who hate the Hunger Games and just abide by the law and send their kids off to this awful arena. And these characters all come from different parts of the districts, and all have different viewpoints and beliefs. So that is why I chose The Hunger Games. Next is Sleeping Beauty, a book that puts you to sleep. And unfortunately, 2020 has been a bad year in many ways, and for me that includes with books. I have not read too many books this year that I have been crazy about, and one of the books that I read this year that I just bored me to death was Moby Dick by Herman Melville. It is a story about a man who joins this whaling expedition, and Captain Ahab, who is the captain, obviously is on the search for Moby Dick, the whale, and I don't think it would be that bad, but Herman Melville goes into extreme details about what the whaling industry entails and how they turn what they use the blubber for, all the different weapons in incredible detail, and it's just like, I don't care about that. Just move on with the story. So, yeah. Next is The Lion King, a character who had something traumatic happen to them in their childhood. And I chose Charlie from The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I am not going to tell you what the traumatic event is because it comes towards the end of the book. And so it's not a spoiler. It would be a spoiler if I told you, because like I said, it's something you don't find out until towards the end. And then once you find out, it's like, what? That happened? It actually took me a while to figure out what had happened. I'm really embarrassed to admit that. But once I did, I was like, oh my gosh, okay. I mean, it was more than an oh my gosh. That made it seem very like flippant. It's actually really awful. Moving on, because then I will just keep talking. Next is Beauty and the Beast, a beast of a book or a big book that you were intimidated by, but found the story to be beautiful. This one, I have a copy of it, but it's back in New York, and that is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. So I needed a book. I don't exactly remember what the challenge was for that particular reading challenge, but I believe it was just like a fantasy book or a book published in 2019, something like that. And so I just looked up books that were published in 2019, chose this one, did not realize how big it was going to be. Until I went to Barnes & Noble and I discovered a book that was like this thick. It's humongous. As my history teacher used to say in high school, it's bigger than the Bible. And yeah, pretty much is. But I actually really, really enjoyed this story. It's a fantasy book, and I enjoy fantasy books, but it's not my favorite genre, so they can be hit and miss for me. But I actually really enjoyed that one. So if you're looking for a good fantasy book, I recommend The Priory of the Orange Tree. Next is Aladdin, a character who gets their wish granted for better or for worse. And I chose Wilbur from Charlotte's Web. Wilbur wishes to not die at the end of the summer, and Charlotte helps make that wish come true. So in this case, it was good wish granting. And Charlotte is the only spider that I will ever tolerate. Specifically, the animated Charlotte voiced by Debbie Reynolds, because the Julia Roberts Charlotte was actually kind of too realistic looking. I'm arachnophobic, but I like this spider. Next is the Mulan, a character who pretends to be someone they're not, and I chose Count Olaf from A Series of Unfortunate Events. I don't remember if he's disguised as something in Book 9, which is The Carnivorous Carnival. It's been a while since I read it, but I know he definitely pretends to be other characters in books 2, 3, and 4, and then, because eventually he just is Count Olaf, and he's just trying to steal the Baudelaire children as Count Olaf. But I only have 3 of the A Series of Unfortunate Events books in my collection, so I just grabbed this one. But my pick is for Count Olaf because he is constantly disguising himself as different characters, and only the Baudelaire children know who he is, and everyone is just like, you're paranoid, children. And yeah, they're always right. Listen to children. They're actually a lot smarter than you think. Next is Toy Story, a book with characters you wish would come to life. And I'm kind of cheating on this one, but you know what? It's a book and I'm rolling with it. And that is the characters from Kingdom Hearts, the novel. And I love Kingdom Hearts video game, so I would absolutely love to live in the world of Kingdom Hearts and fight with the Keyblade alongside Sora, Donald, and Goofy, and be best friends with Kairi and fall in love with one of the characters. If Kingdom Hearts is real when I was a teenager, I totally would have got married to Sora, but Can't marry Sora anymore. So I would have to get married to one of the Final Fantasy characters. Or maybe Axel would be... I love Axel's personality, but Axel, like, in rendering in the video game, I don't find him attractive. But I love his personality. So maybe, like, if he was a real life person, he would be, like, really hot with that personality. Yeah, I'm for it. Last but not least is Disney Descendants, your favorite villain or morally ambiguous character. And I'm going to sound like a broken record because I talk about this book pretty much every single time I do one of these sit down videos. And that is Victor from Vicious. I just love this book so much. And Victor is, you totally understand where he's coming from with his motivations, and you understand why he's doing them, but he's still not a good character. Yeah, he definitely falls into that morally ambiguous umbrella, and I absolutely love him for it. So anyway, that was the Disney book tag. If you would like to do it yourself, go ahead and do it, and I would love to see your videos, your Disney book tag videos. But otherwise, thanks for checking it out. Bye.